Welcome to the Situation Room. I'm James Carey and I'm all about helping you write better sitcom scripts. And in this series, we're looking at 5 mistakes in the first 10 pages of your sitcom script. And we're on to mistake number 5. And let's say it up front, you've written a series of incidents and not a sitcom. You've written a series of incidents and not a sitcom. Now, this might not become obvious until page 15 of your script, but what the person reading that script is looking for is escalation. They're looking for a story that builds and not just a scene of a series of funny incidents, of funny scenes. Now, there's a cooking term I've always enjoyed the sound of. It's the phrase a rolling boil. Have you ever come across that one? I like that. And you'll probably have something on a rolling boil if you're making a sauce or reducing a stock or something like that. And sometimes I read scripts that feel like they're basically just on a rolling boil. Mistakes 1 to 4 have largely been avoided. Maybe lots of things about the script are good. And it might feel like an original situation with good characters, comic perspectives, they have jokes, and each scene contains events and stuff is happening. But you get to page 10 and you don't get the sense that anything is actually building. And by the time you get to page 20, if you get that far, which is a good sign, you're still enjoying the scripts and the jokes, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to boil over into calamity, catastrophe, chaos at any particular point. And then if you get to page 30, it kind of all wraps up, or at least someone has turned off the heat. Or worse, the heat was turned off on page 20 and the whole thing is starting to cool down. Maybe it still goes on page 37 and it's just a congealed mess that you don't particularly want to go back to. I think I've pushed the rolling boil metaphor as far as it'll go. Sorry about that. But the thing is, a sitcom needs to be a series of dramatic and emotional peaks and troughs. The story needs to escalate. But even that's not enough. Each scene needs to lead from one scene into the next scene. It needs to tip you over into that scene. We don't want scenes ending with some kind of an equilibrium, with sort of being restored. There's a problem, the problem's solved. We don't really want that, because we want a problem that needs to be solved but is made worse and harder, rather than just a series of problems that need to be solved. So, for example, let's imagine in our opening scene, our heroine, she is trying to fix her car to prove maybe that she's technically minded or whatever, to prove this to somebody else because she's got a chip on her shoulder about that sort of thing. If by the end of the first incident the car is fixed and she drives off and she's proved that person wrong, well, there's no real drama or story there, is there? And I'm reading the script thinking, oh, the quest has been fulfilled. I kind of wonder what's going to happen next, but there's no indication of what's going to happen next. The story isn't pulling me through the script. Now, it might be a lovely, well-written, funny scene with jokes and character, but it needs to be the beginning of a story. So if she's able to fix the car for now so that it runs, but she knows it'll need to be looked at later because she hasn't actually fixed it, maybe she's going to ask her dad or her mum, but she can't bear to ask because they'll want something in return. Okay, now we've got a story. Or maybe we can see that she thinks she's fixed it, but we can see that she hasn't fixed it. There's a problem that's going to be going to present itself, and then on a lonely country road, the problem explodes, and now she's really stuck, and her own pride has forced her into this sort of situation. And now we've got a story. We've got short-term success, more failure, more short-term success, more failure, and that's kind of how it is. And each time, as it were, it's getting more and more extreme. So I talk all about that in my upcoming video course called Writing Your Sitcom, which launches in January 2021. So subscribe to this channel for more information on that, and I'll keep you posted. Also follow me on Twitter at SitcomGeek, or keep an eye on my blog. But that's mistake number 5. You're writing a series of incidents and not a sitcom. Don't do that. You're writing a sitcom. So have you written one, or have you just written a series of sketches? And actually, we need something that's more than the sum total of the parts. So the rolling boil won't give you enough heat. That there may be slightly too much heat. That's what we need. So the whole thing will boil over, and we'll see what our characters are made of, and hopefully that should be very funny as well. So that's 5 mistakes. There are more, and some apply to the whole script, and not just the first 10 pages. So, but if you've got a script that needs some improvement and don't know where to start, get my handy guide called 7 Ways to Improve Your Sitcom Script right now. And again, that'll just give you some ways of thinking about a script that you've already written that you know just isn't quite good enough, and you want to really buff it up and polish it and improve it. Hence the picture on the front graphic there. Click below for the link for that, and subscribe to these videos, and also there'll be plenty more over the coming weeks and months. Share the love too, share these videos, that'd be really helpful, because we're in a golden age of scripted TV, so there's always room for better sitcom scripts. Thanks for watching, speak to you next time.